Hey, how's it going? Seth here, and I wanted to let you know about a new resource on REtipster. There's a new loan calculator that looks really simple, but it's actually really cool in what it can do. If you want to check this out, you can do so at retipster.com/mortgage, or I'll have a link to it beneath this video as well. This is free to use, so anybody and everybody can use it. And the reason I'm really proud of this calculator that we put together is because unlike most mortgage loan calculators, that are just meant to calculate what the payment is going to be. Like you already need to know the loan amount, the term of the loan, the interest rate, and then calculate the payment. Like that's what most people think of when they use these things. And this can obviously do that, but it can also calculate for the other missing variables as well. So let's say you know what the loan amount needs to be, you know what the annual interest rate is going to be, but you also know what the payment needs to be. And this is really important because a lot of times when you're doing cash flow projections, you might have like a maximum payment that you can afford and the deal will still make sense, but it can't exceed that. But say some of these other things are negotiable, like the number of months to pay the thing off. What if that's blank? Well, you can calculate for the number of months it would take. So let's just take a look at an example here. Let's say we've got a $200,000 loan amount and, a normal calculator. Let's say we would have 30-year mortgage in there with an annual interest rate of 6%, something like that. And you would just calculate what the payment's going to be for that. So pretty plain and simple. But let's say we're looking at a seller finance deal. Let's say you are the buyer and you are trying to buy this thing, and that seller is only going to allow you to pay this thing off over the course of like 5 years or 60 months, which is a lot more typical. Usually sellers aren't going to go for 30 years like a bank would. And the interest rate might be 10%, something like that. And then the payment is obviously going to be a lot higher. But let's say you're looking at this and it's like, no, I can't go over, $4,000, let's say. But these other things are fine. The loan amount is fine. The number of months is fine. And the interest rate, that's up for negotiation. So let's clear that one out. So we know we've got the loan amount, the number of months, and the monthly payment. So if those three things must be true, what would the annual interest rate have to be? 7.42%. And then that would fit in there with that equation. Or let's say that 10% interest rate was fine, but the number of months, that doesn't really matter. That could be paid off over 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, whatever. So if these other things have to be true, and let's say, the monthly payment has to be only $3,000. But again, the number of months doesn't matter. We would just clear that one out and we can calculate for that. So that would have to be paid off over about 98 months if those other three things were true. And you can go on and on. You can clear out any one of these things. You could even clear out the loan amount altogether. Let's say we're going to have a monthly payment of $3,000, interest rate of 5%, and that we're going to pay this thing off over 100 months. What would the loan amount be in that scenario? $244, $935, and 68 cents. So you probably see it's pretty useful, especially if you're like at the negotiation table with somebody. You can pull out your phone, go to this page right here, and just start playing with the numbers until you find something that's acceptable to both you and them, whether you're the seller or whether you're the buyer. I know I use this kind of calculator all the time when I'm evaluating potential deals and I'm just trying to figure out, different scenarios or different possible purchase prices. How would I present a offer to a potential seller with seller financing and make it work for them and for me? And if they say no, I can figure out, okay, what about that offer isn't going to work for you? Maybe it's the payment, and we can play around with that one and see what it looks like. And, once you do have your loan variables all figured out, you can just hit this View Amortization Schedule button, and it will show you the entire amortization schedule. And from here, if you want, you can print it off or save it as a PDF, and you're good to go. So again, this doesn't cost you anything. This is a great tool to have at your disposal. Save it, bookmark it, and use it whenever and wherever it makes sense. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.